the teams you have here, their fans don't like each other, and that puts great energy in the building.
It comes down to competition. You've got great rivalries. Every single game that's going to be played here this weekend, there is so much on the line for both teams. And I guess at the heart of it, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to great competition, and that that utter will to move on in the tournament.
We're expecting a full house inside the XL Energy Center tonight as St. Cloud State and North Dakota go toe-to-toe in our second quarterfinal. Two teams playing their best hockey of the season that have become regulars at this event. North Dakota's here for the 10th consecutive year, trying to be the first team to win 3 straight titles, while St. Cloud State is in the Final Five for the 5th time in 7 years. They've lost the last 3 times they've faced North Dakota in this tournament. With Kevin Gorg, I'm Anthony LaPanta. Welcome as we continue with the Red Baron WCHA Final Five. Tonight we're going to get a look at 2 of the top 10 goal scorers in the country. First for North Dakota, who's led by Brock Nelson.
Yeah, Brock Nelson out of World. This guy plays the game the right way. 6'4", big strapping player who can get it done in the trenches. Look at the way he goes to the net. This guy looks like an NHL player playing college hockey. Brock Nelson, 23 goals this year. Just makes it happen for North Dakota in all the right areas. Power play, penalty kill, top line responsibilities. He's the straw that stirs the offensive drink.
Nelson, the only returning player for North Dakota that was among their top 6 goal scorers on last year's league championship team. On the other side, St. Cloud State is led by Ben Hanowski, who's having his best season as a Husky.
Ben Hanowski's been doing this all his career. He's a pure goal scorer. Certain players just know how to put the puck in the net and know how to do it at big moments. Ben Hanowski is that guy. He did it at Little Falls where he set a state scoring record. He's done it at St. Cloud State. Look for the big moments. Look for that key power play. Ben Hanowski will be there time and time again for the Huskies.
Hanowski had 3 points in their sweep of Nebraska-Omaha last weekend. He's with Jim Rich.
All right, thanks very much, Anthony. With me is the captain of the Huskies, Ben Hanowski. How has this team put it together? You had so many injuries earlier this year, and now here you are at the Final Five.
We played, we had to commit to playing good team defense, and the last 10 games we've been playing really well. We've been doing that, and getting Mike Lee back's been big, and we've just really came together and didn't let the injuries get to us, just kept plugging away, and good things happened for us.
You split the season series with North Dakota. What did you learn in those games? What do you expect here tonight?
Well, they're a great team, well coached, very disciplined, tough team to play against, good in their own zone, good down low, so it's going to take a lot of will and heart to go and get one from them. They've been the best team since Christmas, probably one of the best teams in the country, so should be a heck of a hockey game.
Great, thank you very much for doing this, Ben.
Thanks.
All right, Anthony, back upstairs to you.
The Huskies are 7-2-1 in their last 10, trying to extend their season by winning this weekend. North Dakota looks for a 3rd straight title. We drop the puck next. St. Cloud State and North Dakota in quarterfinal number 2. The winner gets Minnesota tomorrow night. North Dakota's led by Brock Nelson, who's with Jim Rich.
Thanks, Anthony. With me is Brock Nelson. And Brock, this is obviously a very big game for this team. You guys have always done well here at the Final Five. Why do you feel that is?
I think everyone just kind of realizes that this is a big time of the year, especially trying to get into the national tournament in the end. And we know we need to play good hockey here, and that begins with tonight.
You've had an entertaining series with St. Cloud this year, winning in their building. They won in your building. What do you expect here tonight? What did you learn in those previous encounters?
They're a tough team to play against. They like to move. They make a lot of plays, so we got to play a good, solid game for 60 minutes and just worry about what we need to do.
And you get to see a fellow guy, Mr. Lee, in the net tonight.
Yeah, I've seen him multiple times, so know him.
All right, thanks very much. Anthony, back up to you.
Brock Nelson, who played his high school hockey at Warroad. Mike Lee played his at nearby Rosso. As you look at our Kellogg's goaltender matchup, Lee 8-5-2 this year, is 93 save percentage, 6th best in the country. And on the other side, Aaron Dell, 14-9-2 this season, 5-0-1. 5-0 with a 1.29 goals against, lifetime in WCHA playoff games. North Dakota with the upper hand, including 9-2 postseason in head-to-head meetings between these teams. 5-1 at the Final Five. The only exception when St. Cloud State won their only playoff championship. That was back in 2001. We're underway. The Huskies in black and the Fighting Sioux in white. Play comes into the North Dakota zone. Blood back after it. Ben Blood, their leader on the blue line, battles with Hanowski behind the net. This team split 4 games during the regular season. 1 series in each building. Each time the Huskies won on Friday night and North Dakota answered on Saturday.
Always intense when North Dakota's in the mix. This is going to be a physical game. Plenty of skilled players, but boy, you're going to have to buckle up, go in those corners with your head up, because this is not going to be for the faint of heart out here, folks.
You see the starting line combinations and defensive pairings for St. Cloud State, and we get a whistle and an early penalty against the Huskies. North Dakota goes on the power play less than a minute into the game.
This is the danger zone that you have to walk when you're playing an intense game like this. St. Cloud State's penalty kill has struggled throughout the balance of the season. This is a penalty that doesn't take away a scoring chance. You want to impose your will, certainly, and you want to be aggressive physically, but when your penalty kill's down at 77.5% and you're going against a North Dakota power play that's up near 22%, the numbers tell you you can't take penalties like that. North Dakota gets the advantage right now, 5-on-4, and a chance at an early lead.
We're in a tremendous number of penalties in the series between these teams this year. Combined total of 27 power plays for the 2 teams in 4 games. And when we asked the players about it this week, on both sides, almost to a man, their response was, I think both teams realized they couldn't afford to go a man short.
Out of mutual respect, we just saw the first big play on the penalty kill, block shot by David Eddy. Woodbury native got in front of that play from the point, and that's disrupted now the first 30 seconds of this North Dakota man advantage, and they've got the crowd on their side. A lot of green here in downtown St. Paul.
North Dakota 2 for 15 on the power play in the season series with St. Cloud State. Play comes into the Husky zone. And the Huskies again able to clear quickly as Gravel got it out. Travis Novak gives chase, throws a big hit in the North Dakota zone. He sent Matson reeling. Fighting Sioux race back through neutral ice. Cristo has it poke checked away at the St. Cloud State line. Not much happening in the first minute of this North Dakota power play.
That was Corey Thorson, Anthony, that made that play at the blue line using his reach to disrupt it. You can see what St. Cloud's trying to do as North Dakota enters the zone. They're going to try to make a play right there and break up the chemistry of this power play. And so far, they've done a brilliant job.
Matson leaves it in his own zone. Derek Forbert with it. Forbert waits for North Dakota to complete a line change. Now they're ready, and he starts in with a half a minute in the power play. But again, the Huskies break it up at the line, and Hanowski races up the right wing shorthanded. Hanowski sandwiched as he tried to drop to Fessler, and it's intercepted. The Sioux back the other way. Intercepted at the Husky line. Now a turnover gives it right back. Shot from the near side goes wide. Gorder tried to tip out front. Parks up against the end wall. To the near side, Ronnie walks out front. Gorder was there uncovered, but the Huskies able to clear, and the power play is over.
One great scoring chance, but that was stopped by Mike Lee. He hugged that post, and oh, there's a dangerous play in front of North Dakota's net.
Gleason circles in his own zone, turns it over on a long exit pass. Fessler dumps it in, and now Nick Dowd gives chase. Eddy falls in the corner. That gives North Dakota time to recover, and Lamoureux hits neutral ice. On the left wing for Patton. His shot goes wide. Gleason hustles after it. Out of the reach of Lamoureux behind the net. Huskies gain control, and Taylor Johnson got it out to center. Fessler for Dowd into the North Dakota zone. Dowd drops, shot over the top of the goal. Good scoring chance there for St. Cloud State. And we'll get a face-off in the North Dakota zone.
Take a look at our game plan. We'll start with St. Cloud State. They're going to need that top line led by Ben Hanowski to produce offense in this game. The only way they can win is if their big guys show up in the score sheet. For North Dakota, they've already done it once. They've got to get to the power play. St. Cloud State's penalty kill has struggled all season long, and both teams need to help out their goaltenders by taking away the slot, pushing those shooters to the outside part of the rink.
See the officials for tonight, the referees, Don Adam and Tim Walsh. Long shot by Daly goes wide, rebound winds up right out front, and North Dakota's 3-on-2 at center. Sinkbeal centers. It was redirected wide by McMillan. You'll see that North Dakota has to shuffle their lines. They only have 11 forwards healthy enough to dress. Huskies bring it in. Oliver fires on goal and a save by Dell. Rebound held at the point by Gravel. Now to the near side, Daly. Long shot right on. Saved by Dell. And a big collision out front. Gorder throws a hit in the North Dakota crease. We expected physical play. We've seen it early. Just over 4 minutes into a scoreless tie.
Very competitive, you know, extremely talented and make a ton of plays offensively. And I think probably one of the things that I'm seeing in their game is a very committed defensive team. So they're a complete hockey team. And I guess at this time of year, that's what you expect in playoff hockey.
North Dakota head coach Dave Hackstall talking about tonight's opponent, the St. Cloud State Huskies. North Dakota trying to become the first team to win 3 consecutive playoff championships in the WCHA since they went to this tournament format. 2 years ago, they defeated St. Cloud State in the final.
Good game, too. A 5-3 game. I wouldn't expect anything different tonight. It's going to have some offense to it. There's going to be some chippiness. It's going to have good flow, and you can see the atmosphere already very good in here. Good crowd on hand.
Centering pass, loose to the point. Jensen throws it toward the net. Gloved and held by Aaron Dell. St. Cloud State's been on a roll lately. Last 10 games, the Huskies have posted a 7-2-1 mark, averaging twice as many goals as they've allowed. The power play clicking. Included in there a big sweep at Wisconsin and a win and a tie at home against Duluth on the final weekend.
Yeah, Bob Motzko's a coach I respect an awful lot, and he's got this team right now clicking. You saw the power play numbers and the defensive numbers. When you're only giving up 1.8 a night and you're scoring 3.5 plus, you're going to have a lot of success, and they certainly have. Can they do it now at crunch time against a team like North Dakota who's battle tested? We'll find out.
McMillan on the right wing, out of the reach of Michael Parks. They go into the corner after it. McMillan's thrown into the wall. Around behind the net to Ronnie, who had a big weekend in the series sweep of Bemidji State. Ronnie into the corner. Parks battling there. Parks bumped from behind, tries to feed the point. But Panzarella had already relinquished his spot on the blue line. And North Dakota has to regroup. Dowd intercepts a pass at center. Dumps it back into his own zone to Tim Daly. Johnson for Dowd at center. Dowd dumps it in. It's on goal. Dell down to his knees to handle the bouncing puck. Gleason chips it off the wall and out to center. St. Cloud with the early edge in flow. They have a 5-1 edge in shots on goal, which is more significant when you consider that North Dakota had a power play.
Yeah, they've got a forecheck so far where North Dakota's kind of been one and done. They've gotten in the zone, had a look, and then St. Cloud State's come right back out. The Huskies have been very efficient in areas like this, right at their blue line and in the neutral zone with their passing, and that's led to an attack that's been, I think, sustained throughout the opening 6.5 minutes of this period.
Gleason hammered into the far boards. The Huskies have been the more physical team early here as well. Milan and now Raykamp battle for a puck. Milan keeps it alive. Up against the end boards. North Dakota finally comes away with the puck, and Blood feeds Lamoureux. Lamoureux at center is passed behind Patton. The Huskies are right back on the attack. Thorson crisscrosses as they enter the zone. Oliver fires wide. Rebound to the far wall. Now to the point. Jensen faked the shot. Takes a return pass. Jensen winds and fires wide. Rebound out front. Hockno poking in, trying to keep it alive, but it was tipped out of the zone, and the Huskies have to regroup.
Nick Jensen purposely shot that puck wide to the near side, knowing, like a pool ball, you can bank that right back out in the slot. Heads up play.
Thorson enters the North Dakota zone. Drop to the point, a shot by Raby, and that was deflected, wound up over the top of the net. All Huskies here in the first 6.5 minutes. Up the left wing. Sinkfield pokes it into the St. Cloud State zone. Centering pass. Sinkfield goes down to control it with the hand, then flips it wide. Zabkowitz picks it up for St. Cloud State. To the line, kicked back in by McWilliam. Centering pass, score! Corbin Knight threw it out front, it deflects in, and despite Husky domination, it's North Dakota on top 1-0.
This goal is going to belong to Corbin Knight. I think he banks this right off one of the Husky defensemen in front of the net. He was trying to make a pass to his line mate. Never a bad idea, though, to throw the puck at the net. You can see a great play here to hold the zone by McWilliam. And then watch this right there, banked off. Tough play right in front of the net. Definitely trying to pass that puck, but Corbin Knight will get credit for this goal. And the Fighting Sioux have jumped to a 1-0 lead.
14th of the year for Knight. You see it deflects in off of Zapkowicz. McMillan and McWilliam will pick up assists on the North Dakota goal. To get that goal or any other highlight all weekend long, you can text 234-234, text highlights, and get it sent directly to your phone. Dowd whips it across to the near side. It's out of the reach of Tim Daly, and the Huskies have to go back in their own zone.
Well, St. Cloud State has to stay to the task here. They came out, had a nice edge to their game. They were in control, nice forecheck, bad bounce now. Early enough in the hockey game where that should not change any of your momentum that you've created with that hard work in the opening half of this period.
Ben Blood back after it for North Dakota. North Dakota, like many teams, but maybe more so in their case this year, has had a big advantage when they score the game's first goal. They nearly get another one here as Ronnie's shot deflects wide of the net. 14-2-1 when they tally first on the year.
See, their intensity level is elevated now. They're buzzing.
Puck comes free to the point. I'm not sure that Lee ever saw that in the Husky goal. It went wide. Ronnie into the circle. Drops to the point. A shot that goes wide. Rebound goes up against the wall. Ronnie's there to the point on the near side. A long wrist shot goes wide off the stick of Simpson. Parks hustles after it. Good forecheck for North Dakota. Parks to Ronnie. Ronnie tries to center and Lee covers up. The Huskies needed a whistle and they get one. Corbin Knight has North Dakota in front. Fighting Sioux 1 and the Huskies nothing. North Dakota with a 1-0 lead. Penalties against each side. Mark McMillan goes for North Dakota. David Eddy for St. Cloud. Roughing penalties each way.
Well deserved, and that's what's going to happen time and time again in this game. When you see players crashing either net, there'll be a price to be paid. We're going to get some 4-on-4 hockey now. Puck possession, everything for the next 2 minutes.
Derek Forbert back after it for North Dakota. Fighting Sioux defensive course, so big and physical. Forbert and Blood, this pairing, 6'4" and 6'5".
Coaches have confidence to put these big bodies out there in 4-on-4. That tells you they're very responsible hockey players.
Poke check results in a takeaway for St. Cloud. Gravel on the left wing, out of the reach of Novak. And Forbert has it for North Dakota. Leaves it for Blood. They play catch in their own zone. And now Forbert will start up the left wing. Sends it cross ice to Danny Cristo. Has it poke checked away by Gravel, and Forbert back to pick it up. Cristo chips it ahead for Blood. 3-on-3 at center. Ronnie into the St. Cloud zone. Lost it to Jensen. And Dowd starts up the right wing wall. Dowd drops it back. Long wrist shot by Prochnow. And it's steered aside by Arundel.
Great pairing for St. Cloud State here with Prochnow and Jensen. Both have such great offensive skills.
Prochnow hustles after it. Got it to the line and out. It hops over the stick of Matson. Matson back to McWilliam. And North Dakota comes back the other way. Matson hits the Husky line and they're offside. Face-off coming at neutral. 33 seconds left in the penalties against McMillan and Eddy. If you look at the season numbers posted by these teams, almost identical numbers scoring-wise and goals against. Power plays similar. Fighting Sioux with a slight advantage on the penalty kill. Difference is that North Dakota was able to get a couple of sweeps. St. Cloud State did not, and That's the difference between a team that wound up the 4 seed and clearly at home for the playoffs, where the Huskies had to earn home ice advantage on the season's final weekend.
Probably the difference between right now North Dakota being a team on the verge of making the NCAA and a team in St. Cloud State that probably has to win all weekend long to get there.
Huskies come back through neutral with Birch up the outside. Thorson hammered up against the wall. Birch tried to center. David Eddy just out of the penalty box was breaking up the slot, but the pass was off the mark. Simpson starts out for North Dakota. Through neutral, this will be icing, and now they wave it off. I'm not sure how that wasn't an interference call at center ice.
St. Cloud State certainly got away with one there.
Daly pokes it free. He and Christo tangle in the corner. Knight to Christo. Back to Knight. Centering pass by Nelson intercepted, and the Huskies start out 3-on-3 as they come through neutral ice. Holka lays it in behind. Oliver takes a hard hit. Joey Holka has it back. Centering pass. Now Oliver has it behind the net. Thrown out front. Hoping for the same luck North Dakota got earlier when Knight's pass from behind the net was deflected in off a Husky goaltender.
St. Cloud State also keeping up that physical theme, and I think that's a good way to play this game. They are coming out and trying to be the aggressor with the body work. And when you play North Dakota, if you can keep up, that's probably a good sign, because they will throw their weight around right back at you.
Lee stops one, then another on the rebound, and we'll get a break. 1-0 North Dakota. They've gone green here at the XL Energy Center.
North Dakota leads, but St. Cloud State came out with the better play. They were dominating the opening half of this period with all kinds of chances in on goaltender Aaron Dell. The Fighting Sioux found a way, and then off a strange bounce off a defender, Corbin Knight has the goal, and North Dakota with a 1-0 lead. At one point, they were being outshot 6-1. Now the shots are 7-5 St. Cloud State, and boy, the Fighting Sioux have really ramped up and elevated their intensity level from that goal. It's really fired their hockey team up, and now St. Cloud State needs to find that mojo again, because they looked great in the opening 6.5.
Novak in his own zone, leaves it for Gravel. Gravel starts up the right wing, off the glass and into the North Dakota zone. Gleason starts back. Patton try to flip it backward to Lamoureux, but that was off the mark. Here come the Huskies with Raby cutting right in, and Dell snatches it out of the air and hangs on. Face-off coming in the North Dakota zone.
Great passing that time. Very efficient breakout by the Huskies. Went to the wing, and the wing was able to cross that pass to Raby, and then watch Raby use his reach to get on the backhand, get Dell moving and down, and then shuffle that puck towards the net. That's a more difficult save than Dell made it look. He was able to trap that puck up against that Fighting Sioux logo on his sweater here late in period 1.
Draw controlled by the Huskies. Jensen to Prochnow. Out front, a backhand shot saved by Dell. Corey Thorson had him moving right to left. Nearly beat him back the other direction.
Yeah, Dell that time had no idea what the puck was. He was stretched out to the max on this play. Watch his legs kind of almost give out. He's able to reach that right pinball flipper back. I go back to the defensive pairing of Prochnow and Jensen. When they're on the ice for Bob Motzko St. Cloud State team, they can make so much happen so quickly. They are such good puck skill players on that back end. Now they just went off for a shift change, but they made that play to get the puck to the slot.
Prochnow, just a freshman, 28 points already this year. Jensen, the sophomore, has 32. Their second pairing also made up of a freshman and a sophomore in Daly and Gravel.
They've got some serious skill back there. And that can be a difference maker in a game like this. It figures to be a game that's won or lost in the third period. And when you get defensemen late in the game that can join the rush, when teams have those tired legs, you can garner some pretty good scoring chances. The key for St. Cloud State, now that they're down 1-0, is to make sure this game does come down to the final 10 minutes. You've got to find a way to stay in this thing, because when North Dakota gets it going early, as we've seen, they're pretty tough.
Prochnow and Ronnie battle. Prochnow throws it around to the far side. Matson is there for North Dakota. McMillan plays it in behind the goal. Prochnow wins another battle for a puck. Jensen takes a hit. Dowd hustles after it. And the Huskies get it out to center. David Eddy gives chase, but McWilliam is back for North Dakota. McWilliam circles the net. Sends it through neutral ice. Knocked down nicely out of the air by Jared Fessler. Christo for North Dakota double teamed and lost the puck. Dowd has it in his own zone for the Huskies. Chipped in by Fessler. And that forces Derek Forbert to go back after it. To Blood at center. Christo at neutral ice. Sends it back in. Gravel gloves and drops. Withstands a hit from Knight. And now Daly in his own end. Nelson's pass too far for Christo. A lot of play in the neutral zone here in the middle part of the first period. Here's Gravel. Gravel at center ice. And we get a whistle. There's some punches being thrown both in the crowd and in front of the North Dakota bench right now.
I'll tell you what, this is quite a scene. And glove work right in front of the North Dakota bench. And you got to be careful when you're wearing black and you're near that bench, because they're going to take a few liberties. And then when you go back in, they're really going to get after you. This is one of those games. It's big boy hockey. I mean, you better buckle up. These teams both play that hard-nosed, on-the-edge style. And when you go to the wall, be prepared to battle.
We're going to face off in the North Dakota zone. Knight for charging will put St. Cloud on the power play.
You see Knight right there. Came from the middle of the rink, and when you do that, charging becomes an area of concern. I'm a little surprised that Gravel didn't get something for going back after him. They're going to keep it just the way it is. And St. Cloud State now, they have to be good in these scenarios. Their power play has got to be good for them to keep up with North Dakota.
Did not score a power play goal in the season series between the teams. They were 0 for 12. Jensen hooked.
Wow. I am shocked they missed that one. That was a hook right around the top of the sweater, right near the neck, and the official was in position behind the net. I am really surprised by that. Maybe that's the makeup for not calling concurrent minor penalties when this play started back when the original penalty was called, but that was clearly a hook.
Dowd lets it go through to Jensen. Jensen waited, now feeds the half wall. Hanowski's there. Hanowski to the point. Prochnow down low. Dowd back to Prochnow. Prochnow holds his own. Dowd for Jensen. Hanowski centers. Loose puck clear to the wall. Jensen holds his own. Prochnow high in the slot. Dowd in the circle. Across to Hanowski. Scores!
You can't coach goal scoring. This guy has just got that gift. He has had it all his career. And the captain, the junior out of Little Falls, has done it again. And boy, we talk about this pairing. How about keeping this puck in right at the line? There's Prochnow. Oh, I don't know. That puck was dangerously close. The North Dakota coaching staff thought it was out. And then look at that, up top, where Grandma hides the peanut butter. There's Ben Hanowski with that twisted wrister under the crossbar. Perfectly placed above the glove hand of Dell. And St. Cloud State's power play strikes gold. It's a 1-1 game.
Dowd and Prochnow assist on the power play goal for Hanowski, his 23rd goal of the season. He now has 11 goals in his last 13 games. 1-1, 3.5 to go in the first. The North Dakota goal seemed to ignite them earlier in the period. Let's see if it has the same impact on St. Cloud State. here late. We will get an offside call here. A power play goal by Ben Hanowski has St. Cloud State even. North Dakota won, St. Cloud State won. The Huskies just scored a power play goal from Ben Hanowski, but they got a break seconds before the goal.
Great look from our truck. We watched it in commercial break, and you can clearly see space in between the puck and the blue line, which is offsides. And you got the official right there. Very difficult, easy for us to make that call now, watching the replay. Not nearly as easy when you're the official right there on the blue line and right in front of the North Dakota bench. I'm sure that was fun for him. Resulted, though, in a few seconds later, a tying goal.
Knight battles against the end wall, takes a bump from Gravel around to the near side. Nelson pinches in to keep it alive for North Dakota. He and Christo battle with Daly and Novak. Gravel behind his own goal, to the point but not out. Shot blocked by Daly. Nelson has it. Nelson to the top of the circle, fires and hit a skate. Forbert has his shot blocked. Knight throws it out front. Blood to the half boards to keep the play alive for North Dakota. The Huskies flip it high in the air to clear, and Forbert back after it. Forbert's pass through neutral ice, all the way through to Prochnow. Prochnow dumps it in, and Forbert will go back after it. Forbert spins away from Fessler, plays it ahead at center for Parks. Parks off the wall, wanted to get it to McMillan. Prochnow and McMillan tangle at the red line. Dowd has his pass knocked down by McWilliam. Prochnow throws it back into the North Dakota zone inside 2 minutes left in the first period. Nick Matson starts out for North Dakota. Relayed in by Parks. Parks forced to the outside by Prochnow. They battle in the corner. Dowd is there. Prochnow around to the near side for Jensen. Jensen relays. Panzarella trying to hold the zone. Now Gorder does the same. Gorder keeps the play alive. What a weekend he had against Bemidji State in the first round. Scored a goal in each game of the North Dakota sweep.
Ended a 15-game stretch where he hadn't scored, so he's feeling good right now. And again, he's just a first-year player that's still finding his way. And shots on goal right now, 10-5 in favor of St. Cloud State, but North Dakota has done a much better job sustaining forechecks since they scored that goal back to take a 1-0 lead earlier this period.
Gorder plays it in. Gravel gets there first. Gravel grabs the loose puck and circles his net. Around to the far side wall, Oliver starts up the left wing. Oliver's pass at center, bobbled by Birch, and they're offside. You have a chance to get all the highlights from this game and all throughout the Final Five sent directly to your smartphone or tablet. All you have to do is scan the QR code in the lower left corner of your screen. Access all the instant highlights. You can also text the word highlights to 234-234 from your wireless device.
Final minute of play. Both coaches electing to put some fresh legs on the ice. Probably a good decision right now. It's been a very physical opening period, just as we expected. It's going to be paramount for these teams to play as many of their lines as possible. And we mentioned earlier, North Dakota's down a forward. They've only got 11 dressed. And I think this is going to be one of those games where you're going to see in the third period, the team that has the legs has a big advantage. And so I think Bob Motzko has a slight edge there, having a few more bodies to work with.
It'll be interesting how that plays out, because St. Cloud State has tried down the stretch to roll 4 lines. It's hard to do that if your opponent is not playing a 4th line, because especially when they have the last change, you have to roll the dice first to send your 4s over the boards.
Especially when all of your 4s for St. Cloud State are first-year players. That's a very risky move.
Nelson to Christo. Fire saved by Lee. And Nelson right in front of the goaltender takes a couple jabs. I asked Brock Nelson about the confrontation with Mike Lee. They played, as we mentioned earlier, Nelson at Warroad, Lee at Roseau, which is one of the great rivalries in Minnesota high school hockey. 2 communities just 11 miles down the road from each other. And They played against each other all the way through the youth ranks at the high school level, and now, of course, in the WCHA. And he said, you know what, I've never talked to him off the ice.
I believe it. I completely believe it. There is no love lost. 11 miles might as well be 1,100 between Roseau and Aurora when it comes to playing hockey. And you just saw him right there take a little liberty. Lee's hugging the puck. He comes in, gives him a little love tap, a little bounce. And he takes the face wash from the defenseman, which is going to happen. But what a rivalry. And again, that's one of those little game within the games that we have, is the top weapon for North Dakota against one of the top goaltenders in college hockey. Arch rivals all the way through.
Dowd sidesteps a check to get it to center. 10 seconds left in the period. Forbert has it chipped in by Christo. Gravel would like to get it to the buzzer, even at 1, and that's what he'll do. Coming up in our first intermission, we'll have highlights from our first quarterfinal today. Jim Rich will visit with Ben Hanowski, who tied it for St. Cloud State. And we'll chat with North Dakota assistant coach Kerry Eads. All that coming up during our first intermission. After 1 in St. Paul in a physical, fast-paced first period. Huskies 1, Fighting Sioux 1. Welcome back to St. Paul. We're tied at 1 through 20 minutes of play. Ben Hanowski rejoins us. And Ben, this first period, very physical. You guys came out quickly, got a 6-1 shot advantage. Then they got a goal that was maybe a bit lucky and kind of took the wind out of your sails for a bit.
Yeah, they just made a good play. They threw a puck to the net and kind of ping-ponged around and happened to get by Mike. And they like to do that. They like to get pucks and bodies at the front, and usually good things happen, and they got one to go in and got an early lead.
You tied it up on the power play. Power play's been red hot for you lately, and you've been the guy that's been putting those pucks home.
Well, yeah, we've been doing a good job moving the puck around and getting it set up, and Proctor made a good pass to Dowder, and Dowder made an excellent pass. Right on my tape, I had a pretty easy job just getting it up into the upper corner. So, yeah, our power play's been clicking, and hopefully we get some more opportunities. We can keep cashing in on them.
Great. Thanks for doing this, Ben.
No problem.
All right, that's Ben Hanowski of the Huskies. He tied this game at 1. When we come back, we'll look at highlights of Game 1 from earlier this afternoon. You're watching the 2012 WCHA Red Baron Final Five.
The crowds are getting bigger here at Toyota's #1 for everyone sales event. Why? Because of our top-selling cars, like Camry, named Best Resale Value in its class by Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com, and awarded a 5-star overall safety rating by NHTSA.
North Dakota 1, St. Cloud State 1 in the quarterfinal. The winner gets the regular season champ Minnesota tomorrow night. Earlier today, Denver did battle with Michigan Tech in a matchup that would determine a date against UMD. Tyone had scored early for Denver. Blake Pietro had tied it for Michigan Tech. Stayed that way into the third. Ryan Fern scored in the opening minute to make it 2-1 Tech. And then Denver in the final 5 minutes got great goaltending and a goal from Luke Salazar to send it into overtime, where Jason Zucker won it for the Pioneers.
Who else? Zucker, the wild draftee. Johnny on the spot on the weak side. Gets that puck, shovels it up and over goaltender Josh Robinson, who was absolutely amazing today, stopping 41 of 44, but he comes up short. And Denver's season continued. That win might have put them into the NCAA.
Take a look at highlights from our first period here, and hear from Kerry Eads next. St. Cloud State 1, North Dakota 1, after 1. Quarterfinal number 2 from the XL Energy Center as we continue with the Red Baron WCHA Final Five. First period, we saw physical play. We saw great chances at both ends.
And North Dakota on their heels finally finds a way to get an offensive zone chance. And Corbin Knight banks it in off a St. Cloud State Husky defenseman to make it 1-0. But then on the power play, a great pass here. Dowd all the way across to Ben Hanowski, who just rips one and knocks the water bottle off to make it a 1-1 game. St. Cloud State outshoots North Dakota, probably has the slightly more aggressive forecheck. And right now, again, this game could go either way. Terrific start.
Red Baron first period stats. Huskies with a 10-6 edge in shots, slight edge in scoring chances, and the only power play goal. Huskies 1, Fighting Sioux 1. We'll hear from North Dakota assistant coach Kerry Eads next.
Back here in St. Paul, the start of the second period just around the corner. Associate head coach Kerry Eads joins us now. And Kerry, it was a rough first period, but I don't think that was surprising to either side.
Well, there's a lot of physical play out there, Jim. It wasn't a real great period on our part that we think. Lost some face-offs clean. We had some turnovers. Uncharacteristically, didn't get some pucks deep, but we come out of the period 1-1. We've got to have some more shifts. We had about 2 or 3 grind shifts where we controlled puck in the offensive corners, got in on the forecheck really quickly and created some chances. So, name of the game is time of possession on the other team's end and try to limit time in your end. And if we can do that, we'll come out on top.
Great. Thanks very much for your time, Kerry.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, Anthony, back up to you for period 2.
Thanks, Jim. North Dakota and St. Cloud underway with the second period. Huskies with a 10-6 edge in shots on goal in that first period. And we'll see if the Fighting Sioux are able to make the adjustments to which Kerry Eads just referred. Wasn't a typical North Dakota period. They had a little spurt there, but overall, not the forecheck I expected from the guys in white and green. Nelson works to the outside, looking for Christo, intercepted by Jensen, who starts back the other way. Novak up the right wing for the Huskies. Novak fires, skate save Dell. Blood plays it to the half wall, and now Knight to the line but not out. Jensen holds his own. Novak left alone. Back pedals, waits, then partially fanned, and Knight has it to Christo up the left wing. Christo works to the outside, poke checked away by Jensen. Christo still with it. In behind wants Ronnie. Tied up by Prochnow. Eddie with a one-touch pass. Novak to Fessler at center, and the Huskies complete a change. Fessler has it poked off of his stick by Matson. He goes down in a heap in the corner. Back to his feet in time to play it to Dowd. Ronnie around behind to the near side. Chipped out by Parks, and Gravel goes back after it for St. Cloud State. Ronnie knocks it ahead up the right wing. Ronnie fires, and right into the midsection of Mike Lee. You have a chance to get all the highlights of the WCHA Final Five sent directly to your smartphone or tablet. All you have to do is scan the QR code in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Access all the instant highlights. You can also text the word highlights to 234-234 from your wireless device. Both goaltenders right now look like they're in control of their game. Had a chance to get their bearings, get their feet underneath them in period number 1. Both will have to be on top of their game when it comes to controlling rebounds. We just saw Mike Lee do that, gobble that puck up on his logo, because both of these hockey clubs know how to crash the net and do so with a purpose. Simpson spins away from a check and starts out for North Dakota. Feeds Lamoureux, good at the line. Lamoureux centers. Off the stick of McMillan, and the Huskies are back the other way. Birch hits the North Dakota line, and they're offside. Face-off coming in the neutral zone. You figured out how to scan the QR yet? No, that's so far. I'll need my daughters to walk me through that. They're much more savvy when it comes to the world of technology. I've recently learned how to email out of my phone, which is pretty good for me. Have you mastered going through the self-checkout lanes yet? Grocery stores? Done that once, and I like the self-checkout thing. I do like that, but you don't buy any vegetables or fruit anyway, where it's you gotta look them up though. No, the apples, the Honey Crisps, you gotta look those up. That's difficult for me. That's where I get into trouble. I like when there's just a little sticker there and you just run it through. Anyone can do that, but yeah, it's cool to have those highlights accessible, and all weekend long, you're a fan of the game of hockey, which I'm sure you are. Use that one and take a look at some of the biggest plays here in downtown St. Paul. We're just getting started. Matson battles in the corner. Huskies come away with the puck. They've won a lot of those battles. Raykamp try to leave it to Milan. Polka joins the fight. And finally it's McWilliam for North Dakota to Matson. Porter got it caught in his skates at the Husky line. Garrett Milan back into the North Dakota zone. His shot blocked by McWilliam. Sinkbeal looking to spring McMillan, but that pass was intercepted. Huskies dump it in and go off on a change. St. Cloud State still doing a good job in the neutral zone. They're really spaced out properly. disrupting right there. Little plays like that to regain puck possession. You heard North Dakota associate head coach Kerry Eats talk about the possession of the puck and how valuable it can be in a game like this. It's a 50-50 game. I like the way St. Cloud's playing at their blue line.
Nelson battles in the corner for North Dakota. Christo tried to feed the point. It was intercepted on the way by Hanowski. Christo has it back. Onside at the line. Christo cut off, centered, out of the reach of Knight. Knight goes into the far wall. Raby to Novak. Christo tried to go back after his stick. That gives Raby time to gain the puck. But he turns it over, and Knight brings it right back in to Parks. Poke checked away by Jensen, and Jensen starts out for St. Cloud. Hanowski up the left wing. Centers for Jensen. He was tied up by Forbert. Forbert now with it for North Dakota. To Blood behind his net. Long pass through neutral ice was intercepted. Forbert turns it over. And a lot of turnovers from the North Dakota defensemen trying to get their transition game started.
Yeah, they're trying to make those long stretch passes, and with St. Cloud State in good position, they're having a hard time to connect on those, and that's creating turnovers, which puts the puck right back into the North Dakota end, and they're having to re-break the puck out. That's taxing.
Ronnie, pass behind McMillan. Parks played it back in. The Fighting Sioux in the midst of a change. Zabkowicz for Eddie. Dowd with it just inside the North Dakota line. Eddie had a loose puck land right on his stick, but as he tried to feed Fessler, it was out of his reach. Fessler with it at the half board. Tied up by Lamoureux. Gleason now with it for North Dakota. Gleason lost it as he tried to carry out of the zone. Patton to Lamoureux. Tied up. Pass for Gleason intercepted. Corson with it for St. Cloud. His pass all the way through, and icing coming against St. Cloud State. Not a lot of flow to this second period thus far. Don't miss part 2 of Spotlight Joe Mauer All Access. He hits the road with the Twins Caravan and goes behind the scenes on the set of his new commercial, Spotlight Joe Mauer All Access, tonight after the WCHA Final Five on Fox Sports North.
Yeah, to your point, Anthony, 5.5 minutes into this period, each team with only one shot on goal.
Christo in for North Dakota, centered, nobody home for the Fighting Sioux. Matson shot blocked to the far point. Now Christo in the slot. He's knocked off the puck, and the Huskies start back. Long one from center, on goal. Dell gloves and drops. Knight couldn't get it out of the zone. Knight battles there with Oliver. Matson now with it for North Dakota. 18 points on the season for Matson, in the highest scoring North Dakota defenseman. 1-1 early second.
Dakota.
1-1 tie early in the second period here at the XL Energy Center. St. Cloud State and North Dakota, familiar foes in the WCHA Final Five. In fact, they've 3 times met in the championship game. The only other matchup that has occurred 3 times in the final is Minnesota and North Dakota. You can see there have been 5 different pairings that have occurred at least twice. These teams also met in the semifinals a couple of years ago. North Dakota's won 2 of those 3 championship game meetings. St. Cloud State won the first of the 3 back in 2001 when Derek Eastman scored in overtime to give the Huskies a 6-5 win.
North Dakota's on a pretty good run right now in the postseason within the WCHA. They've won 10 consecutive games, of course, back-to-back Broadmoor trophies here in downtown St. Paul. And not the same North Dakota team we saw the last couple of seasons. This is more of a blue-collar squad here, and you're seeing kind of that unfold before your eyes tonight with some of the sloppy play. And here's a flashback
to that 2001 championship game. Arneson a hat trick for St. Cloud State. And then Derek Eastman won it in overtime. 6-5 for the Huskies. That is their only WCHA playoff championship. They've been back to the finals twice, both times against North Dakota. Beaten 5-3 in the 2006 championship. That was, of course, the Duncan, Taves, and Oshie year for North Dakota. Those three combined for 8 points in the 5-3 championship game win.
Pretty good line, huh? A couple guys that are starring in the National Hockey League. One of them already with the Stanley Cup, and who knows, TJ Oshie this year with St. Louis, certainly one of the favorites to hoist the most famous trophy in sports.
Play in the North Dakota zone. Ben Blood with it. Forward to Nelson, who takes a hit. Knight hustles after the loose puck. 3-on-2 at center. Knight tried to center for Cristo, and the puck deflects out of play. Speaking of that 2006 championship game, not a bad trio up front for North Dakota. Taves, Oshie, Duncan combined for 3 goals and 5 assists in the 5-3 North Dakota win.
I remember watching that team, and boy, that line had a little bit of everything. And Duncan was the speed merchant, the little guy. Then he had those 2 future NHL stars with him, and they played well off each other. They were dominating, and that was a very well-played hockey game. St. Cloud State actually had plenty of offense on the table that night as well, but North Dakota won out with the depth of offense.
Ronnie in the corner for North Dakota to Nick Matson. Tried to center, still has it behind the net. Parks now with it. Fights through a check. Parks spins. Prochnow pins him up against the wall. Ronnie, Matson fires, and it was blocked. Huskies can't get it out. Ronnie still with it. Drops to Parks. He was tied up by Fessler. Dowd up the left wing wall for St. Cloud State. Works his way around McWilliam. Drops it to the point, and it escapes Prochnow and all the way down.
They had exactly what they wanted. Prochnow had that cannon loaded, but the puck was bouncing.
Dowd brings it in. Tried to sneak one through to Fessler. It's intercepted, and Patton has it for North Dakota. Patton kicks it to the line, but not out. Eddy brings it right back in. David Eddy tried to center. Intercepted, and the Fighting Sioux able to clear. This will be icing against North Dakota. Third championship meeting between these teams took place 2 years ago in 2010. There were a few players who are still on the ice here tonight that were a part of that game. Let's flash back once more. And in 2010, it was St. Cloud jumping out to an early 2-0 lead before North Dakota took control. Matt Fratton scored the final goal for North Dakota into an empty net. He, the following year, would score the winner in overtime in another North Dakota championship. But a couple guys that were here that night, Andrew McWilliam, Ben Blood, were the top defensive pairing for North Dakota. Jared Fessler, David Eddy, a part of the offensive attack for St. Cloud. 1-1 tonight.
Back here in St. Paul, North Dakota and St. Cloud State tied at 1. Joining us now is the head coach of the Denver Pioneers, who were victorious in overtime this afternoon. First, your thoughts on that game?
Well, it was kind of typical of the way we played all year long. I thought Tech played a great game and really tested us, and certainly we finished well. That's the way that's been kind of our mark over the last about a month or so.
Now you face Minnesota Duluth tomorrow. They're obviously rested. You haven't seen them since early November. What do you expect from the Bulldogs?
Well, you know, in so many ways are tough to play against. They're good defensively. They've got really high-end guys who can really go offense quickly. It's going to be a great test for us. We're going to have to be real sharp defensively, that's for sure.
You look at these crowds here in St. Paul, it's just going to get bigger throughout the weekend. It should be huge tomorrow. How much fun is this for your players and your program to be in an atmosphere like this?
Well, we've got 2 guys, Dusty Jackson and John Ryder, who are 5th-year seniors. They've been here for 5 years, and every single time they've been here, it's special for them. And this is a great weekend of college hockey. The best college hockey tournament in the country. It just keeps getting better and better, and we're just so happy to be part of it.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Good luck tomorrow.
My pleasure, Jim. Thanks.
Anthony, back up to you.
More overtime magic for Denver today. They arrived here in St. Paul when Luke Salazar scored an overtime of Game 3 last Sunday against Wisconsin. And then today they got a late goal from Salazar to force overtime before Jason Zucker won it in the extra session to eliminate Michigan Tech and send Denver into tomorrow afternoon's date with the Bulldogs.
That should be an awesome hockey game. A lot of talent on display. Denver never panics. They do get down in these hockey games, but they've got veterans that know how to score at big moments. And Jason Zucker finding a way to net that game winner. Salazar back-to-back weekends where he scored ginormous goals for his hockey team. The OT winner to survive against Wisconsin on Sunday, and then that tying goal, and it didn't look like Denver would get back and tie it against a hot goalie today.
Lee with a save on the Cristo shot, and he'll get a face-off in the St. Cloud State zone. I keep waiting for a moment where the tempo will get back to what it was in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game. It started out with a lot of jump, and since then it's as if both teams have slowed down. I'm not sure if it's caution or if the teams are just a bit off.
A little bit of both, I think, because the passing in this second period has not been to the level we expect to see from both these squads. And I'm certain Dave Hackstall and Bob Motzko right now are wondering what they're watching. And I have to tell you one thing right now. Both of these teams cannot survive tomorrow night against Minnesota if they come out with this game. It's just been a little disjointed here. Good flow in the first period. Second period's been real choppy.
Cristo at the half wall. Cristo walks all the way around to the near point, then sends it wide. Knight there. Loose puck. Cristo cannot hold his own. Randy Cristo, one guy you can usually count on to appear that he's been shot out of a cannon on each shift. Prochnow back in his own zone for St. Cloud. Fessler at center. Crowd starting to get antsy as we pass the midway point of the second period. Huskies 1, Fighting Sioux 1. Lamoureux for Patman across to Gleason. Gleason carries in. Drops it back to Lamoureux. His shot blocked. St. Cloud State knows they must win a championship here this weekend to extend their season. North Dakota likely seals an NCAA tournament spot with a win tonight. Forbert with a long shot. That's intercepted. Clear to the line, but Forbert holds his own. Patton to Simpson to Lamoureux. Forbert winds and fires, and it trickles just wide.
Well, I think that thing went out the chest that time of Patton and dribbled right through the blue paint. You hear the fans moaning in the background.
And Patton heads to the bench. He won't get credit for a blocked shot on that one, but he certainly paid the price.
Sure did.
Wraparound try. Lee stops it, and McMillan is stopped on the rebound. We get a whistle. Watch the one-timer by Forbert again. Just trickles wide, and we remain tied at 1.
We just want to win Thursday night and have a breath to take Friday and play again. And if we can continue and stay on top of that, not look any further past that, you know, put ourselves in a good position.
St. Cloud State head coach Bob Motzko talking about his team, and they were swept by Minnesota late in the season in a home-and-home series. And at that time, we're sitting 10, 14, and 4 overall. But they then finished the year with a 5-2-1 stretch that got them home ice in the first round of the WCHA playoffs. Swept Omaha there to advance here to the Final Five, and as they arrive in St. Paul, they arrive as one of the hottest teams in the conference.
A lot of times you need to get hit in the mouth before you can rally, and they did. They rallied down the stretch. We talked about it their last 10 games, 7-2-1. They're getting good goaltending right now, and I think that weekend against Minnesota was a real eye-opener for those guys. Their home game, they got outplayed significantly by the Gophers. Almost 50 shots against in that hockey game, and I think their effort's been ramped up from that point on. And right now, they come into this weekend as a team capable of winning 3 games in 3 nights. When you have a goaltender like Mike Lee, a lot of good things can happen. But boy, this first hurdle, they've got to find a way to win the night.
Ronnie at center for North Dakota. Nelson tried to center, got it back, and rips one wide. Parks holds his own for the Fighting Sioux. Nelson gives chase on the far side. He's dumped by Daly. Hanowski sidesteps Christo's check. And the Huskies able to clear. Icing waved off as Matson goes back to play it for North Dakota. Matson at center. Works to the outside. Fires toward the net. Lee easily kicks it to the corner. Dowd, Nelson, Corbin Knight all battling there. Free to the near half wall. Christo holds his own for North Dakota. Nelson has to pick it up at center ice. Across to Forbert, who drops it back in his own end for Blood. Knight tips it in as North Dakota's in the midst of a change. Prochnow starts back out for St. Cloud. His pass behind Eddie. Forbert right back into the Husky zone. And Prochnow, the freshman defenseman from Minnetonka, drops to Dowd. Dowd's shot goes wide.
Good shot by Dowd. He had the goaltender committing downward. Tried to elevate that puck up under the bar. It just went over the top of the net, but once again, Prochnow activating from that back end to give St. Cloud State numbers in that scenario.
Gleason up the right wing for North Dakota. Gleason hits the Husky line, fakes a shot, spins in the corner, takes a bump from Prochnow. Gleason still with it. Now centers, and Lamoureux one times it just wide.
Not sure Lee ever saw that puck. Lamoureux kind of snuck in and one time that puck right through the blue paint one more time. Both teams now starting to get that intensity back up to where we saw it in the first period.
Simpson. Milan pinches in to hold the zone. A shot from the wall. Easy stop for Dell. And as Milan and Raykamp go after a loose one in the corner, we get a whistle. Like Fox Sports North on Facebook for the chance to win an elite seat experience at an upcoming Wild game. Prize includes bench seating at the April 7th game, dinner for 4 at Headwaters Restaurant, valet parking, and more. If you already like Fox Sports North on Facebook, go to our page and click on the Wild Elite Seat tab for the chance to win. Past the 15-minute mark of the second period. Corbin Knight for North Dakota, Ben Hanowski for St. Cloud, and we're even 1-1. McMillan up the right wing. Throws it toward the net. Puck was on the back of the net for a moment. McWilliam pinching in deep from the North Dakota blue line to keep it alive. Gorder able to hold the zone. And now it's out of play. We're going to face off at neutral ice.
Shots on goal just 15-12 right now in favor of St. Cloud State. The pace of this game slowing down dramatically here in period 2, and there's a lot of mutual respect back and forth. You're not seeing a lot of free flow to this game. Both teams responsible keeping that third man high on the forecheck. Not a lot of odd number rushes to be had.
Ben Blood for North Dakota. Hands it off to Nelson, who enters the zone. Nelson to the slot, scores!
Sioux fans are up and at 'em here in downtown St. Paul. Their top player is Brock Nelson. He just netted his 24th off a neutral zone faceoff. He's going to get the puck on the near wall. And when he walks to the slot, he gets the goaltender Mike Lee off his angle. Watch that decisive move right there into the slot. Lee is just a little bit off his angle. That move right there, cutting to the middle on the forehand, left-handed shot up off the post. Past Lee on the blocker side. And North Dakota gets a pivotal goal here late period 2 from the old World Warrior Brock Nelson. 2-1 Sioux.
Ben Blood and Derek Forbert each pick up assists on the North Dakota goal. And for the second time, Fighting Sioux lead by 1. Christo fires. Blocker saved by Lee. The rebound wound up right out front. And Lee had to make another stop. Huskies are now 3-on-2 the other way. Novak cuts to the net. Saved by Dell. Novak looked like he had the 5-hole open, and Dell slammed the door just in time. Corbin Knight tried to walk to the slot. He's knocked off the puck. Penalty coming against Knight as he threw a jab in the back of Zabkowicz after Zabkowicz had tied him up, and St. Cloud State goes on the power play. Brock Nelson scores for North Dakota. Then Aaron Dell stops Novak. 2-1 Fighting Sioux. Corbin Knight for cross-checking, and North Dakota's a man short with a 1-goal lead. Watch it again right here. Good defensive play by Zabkowicz, and then Knight gives him a cross-check in the back into his goaltender.
Not a smart penalty, especially after the Sioux had just scored that go-ahead goal, got their game elevated to a place where they were putting St. Cloud State back on their heels. This is a talented power play that can strike quick.
St. Cloud scored on the power play earlier. It's their only goal of the night. Prochnow to Hanowski. Dowd gathers in a loose puck to Hanowski. Centers. Blood takes Fessler down out front. No penalty coming. Prochnow to Dowd. To the point. Jensen. Dowd with it. Dowd waiting. Rolls it to Fessler. Trying to feed Hanowski, intercepted by Lamoureux, who clears for North Dakota.
St. Cloud State will have to adjust now. When Dowd gets the puck on the half wall, North Dakota has adjusted. They're taking away Ben Hanowski across the rink. That was the play they made in the only goal of the game that the Huskies have. They tried to go down low that time to get the puck to big number 10. It didn't work.
Prochnow dumps it in to gain the zone. Blood rings it around. Jensen goes down to hold the zone. Blood with another try. This time he goes to Forbert. Hanowski poke checks it away to the half wall. Dowd digs it loose. Dowd still with it. Waiting, now feeds Prochnow. Long wrist shot goes wide. Jensen hustles down to keep it alive for St. Cloud. Forbert on the backhand, able to clear. Huskies will have to regroup with 35 left in the power play.
Good position by North Dakota, really not allowing St. Cloud State what they were looking for in the power play. Top unit goes to the bench. Second unit will have to carry the load now with 25 to go.
Taylor Johnson dumped it in, but it deflects out of play. We'll get a neutral zone faceoff. 21 seconds left in the St. Cloud State power play, with North Dakota in front by a goal. Bob Motzko hoping for something better on this man advantage.
This one's salted away, 21 ticks to go, so Bob Motzko knows right now that in all likelihood it's going to have to come 5-on-5 if they're to get this game tied up before they head to the locker room. North Dakota clearly now with the momentum on their side. They've got the traveling fun show that is their partisan crowd with them here. They've got momentum, they've got the crowd, they've got a 1-goal lead late in period 2, so I think this game right now is set up for North Dakota. They can stay out of the box. That last penalty was not a penalty from a coaching perspective that you like to take in the offensive zone out of frustration.
Johnson starts out for St. Cloud. Raby comes to center. The power play over. North Dakota's back at full strength. Eddy across to the point. Raby winds and fires. It was blocked on the way. May have hit his teammate, Brooks Birch. Blood to Lamoureux. He's dumped. North Dakota fans wanted a penalty but won't get it.
There was a trip there, no doubt about it. Missed by the officials. Letting them play out here.
Eddy fought his way into the zone. Final minute of the period. Blood's long pass intercepted by Gravel at center, who fires it right back in. Huskies retouch, and Blood will try again. Flips it to the line. Eddy sprawls to hold the zone for St. Cloud. Thorson gives chase, so does Eddy. McWilliam to the near half wall. Christo has it. Pass out of the reach of Knight. Less than a half a minute to go in the middle period. Daly circles his net and starts back for St. Cloud. Parks battles with Novak in the corner. Forbert comes away with it for North Dakota and throws it off the glass and out to center. We're in the final seconds of the second period. And North Dakota will head to the final 20 minutes with a 1-goal lead over St. Cloud State. Coming up in our second intermission, Jim Rich will chat with Corbin Knight, who scored the first goal for North Dakota tonight. We'll also hear from WCHA Commissioner Bruce McLeod. All that coming up in our second intermission. After 2 in St. Paul. It's the Fighting Sioux 2 and the Huskies 1 with a spot in the semifinals on the line.
Back here in St. Paul in between periods 2 and 3, and North Dakota takes the lead in a very physical hockey game. Corbin Knight joins us now. Corbin, this game has been physical. It's been a war out there tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely playoff hockey. You look at the finish checks and the intensity of the game, it's definitely playoff hockey, but it's fun playing out here in front of such a great crowd, and it's definitely playoff hockey out here, so it's fun to play.
You opened the scoring in that first period. It looked a bit strange to us. What did it look like to you?
It probably looked a little stranger to me. I don't know how it went in. I just going behind the net there, and all of a sudden it's in the back of the net. But it's a greasy one, but I'll take it, and we got to keep going from here, though.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Corbin. Good luck in the third.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Corbin Knight of the Fighting Sioux. His team leads it 2-1. When we return here to St. Paul, the WCHA Commissioner Bruce McLeod will join us live. You're watching the 2012 Red Baron WCHA Final Five.
Hello?
Hello, Todd. Just calling to let you know I'm giving you the silent treatment.
So you're...
It was 1-1 after one. Only goal of the second period, scored by Brock Nelson. One of the league's top goal scorers. Nelson beats Mike Lee high to the stick side. 2-1 North Dakota. That's our great clip of the second period. Our Red Baron stats through 2. The Huskies with a 16-14 edge in shots and the only power play goal, but they trail North Dakota by 1 with 20 minutes to go. Third period is next.
Back here in St. Paul, just before the start of the third period, St. Cloud State assistant coach Steve Johnson joins us now. And Steve, the power play has worked well, but what has to happen 5-on-5?
Well, I think both teams, ice has been pretty tough to come by, and not a whole lot of good scoring opportunities, and their best forward made a great play in the goal. But we got to make sure we just keep getting pucks deep. We know that they take care of the front of their net real well, and we need that second and third effort to finish off a play in front of the net, and probably going to be a greasy one if we can get one here.
All right, best of luck in the third period.
Thanks.
All right, let's go back upstairs to Anthony for the start of period 3.
Thanks, Jim. During the 4-game season series, St. Cloud outscored North Dakota 10-7. Goals were hard to come by in that series as well. The difference, the shots. North Dakota outshot them 148-104 in those games. You figure that over 4 games for North Dakota, that's an average of more than 35 per night. Here, they're just 16-14 through 2 periods.
Completely different tempo, and puck movement hasn't been as efficient as both these coaches would like. We're looking at Bob Motzko running the St. Cloud State bench, and right now, I'm on the Husky side. I'm going to start to up the tempo on the offensive end. Get pucks to the net. They're looking for second and third chances.
Here's a chance out front. Dell down. Puck winds up behind the net. Dowd scrapping for it. Wins the battle for St. Cloud. Tried to give it to Gravel, the defenseman who was down in the corner, but Ronnie's there. Ronnie tried to sneak it around behind his net. Fessler intercepts. Dowd centers, and it deflects wide of the net. Again, Gravel pinches in to hold the zone for the Huskies. Ronnie lost the puck to Dowd. Dowd into the corner for St. Cloud. Centers. Fessler's uncovered, but his shot was blocked. Gravel takes a big hit from McWilliam. Got the pass down low, but the pass for Fessler was intercepted. McMillan tried to center, broken up by Daly. Great pressure applied by St. Cloud in the first minute of the third period.
They've got to be the aggressor, down 2-1 right now. Boy, North Dakota really starting to get that physical play going. That's their style.
Huskies have not had much luck coming from behind, just 2-12 when trailing after 2 periods this year. And you saw that North Dakota's been very tough to catch. Out to center ice. Simpson with it for North Dakota. Patton. Huskies give chase. Birch can't get there before Panzarella gains control for the Fighting Sioux. Around behind the net. And out to center. It's tipped. There's no icing. Taylor Johnson back after it for the Huskies. Patton dumped him in the corner. Gleason tries to dig the puck free but can't. Zabkowitz now has it for St. Cloud. Around to Johnson behind the net. Flips it high in the air. Cross ice. Tipped in by Thorson, but quickly right back out. Jensen will pick it up for the Huskies and start out of his own zone. Up on the left wing. Shot right on and a save by Dell. Not much of an angle for Garrett Milan. You have a chance to get all the highlights from the WCHA Final Five sent directly to your smartphone or tablet. Just scan the QR code in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Access all the instant highlights. You can also text the word highlights 234-234 from your wireless device.
Once again, that was Nick Jensen, defenseman extraordinaire for St. Cloud State, who set up that play. Such a great skater of the puck, such a great mover of the puck. 14 in black. He's paired with that guy right there, Andrew Prochnow. Two young players with a bright future on that blue line for St. Cloud State.
Offside at the line, and we're going to neutral zone face-off. Huskies have been battling hard in this game. In fact, they've probably won more puck battles along the wall throughout the night.
I've been surprised at the aggressive physical play from St. Cloud State. I kind of expect that night in and night out from Hackstall in North Dakota. That's been their style for years, and they've done quite well with it. St. Cloud State, though, tonight seemed to have a chip on their shoulder from the time they walked on the ice. They seem to lose their way, though, middle of that second period, kind of late in that stanza, and right now, because of it, they're down a goal.
Nelson dumps it to the corner. Forbert tangled up there. Nelson plays it around behind. Blood able to hold the zone. Christo has it. Centers for Nelson. And a good chance for Brock Nelson. Lee got the pad on it. Knight in the corner. This line so dangerous for North Dakota. Blood a one-timer. And a save by Lee.
Blood got a lot on that one. You could see that puck ticketed for the far side, but very rarely will you beat a goaltender of Mike Lee's quality from that far out of the net if he can see it.
Gravel had a chance to send Hanowski in all by himself. The pass was behind him. Hanowski got a stick on it to avoid icing, but could do no more.
Hanowski needs to be more of a factor 5-on-5. He's been virtually invisible unless they're on the power play. That's not acceptable for a captain and a weapon with the talents that Ben Hanowski has.
Zabkowitz played it to center. Panzarella intercepts for North Dakota. And now Dowd with it for the Huskies. Simpson fought his way out to center, but Dowd takes the puck away. And the Huskies regroup with Johnson in his own zone. Back to Zabkowitz, who circles the net. He's watched by Parks. Johnson starts out, flips it ahead to Dowd. Fessler hits the North Dakota line. A long shot. Pad save. Dell. Rebound was rolled right through the crease. Johnson back of the net. Down centers for Fessler, and a one-timer stop by Dell.
Boy, great puck movement by the Huskies. Better saves by Dell.
Johnson waits, still with it, fires, and it goes wide. The net is knocked off, and it's going to cost North Dakota as McWilliam shoved David Eddy right into the side of the net. Great pressure by the Huskies, but they trail by one. Andrew McWilliam goes for interference. You'll see him tangled up on the top of your screen. And then he rides David Eddy right into the side of the net, knocking the net loose. McWilliam for interference. Huskies on their third power play of the night.
Big opportunity here for a power play that's been very, very good. They've lit the lamp already in this game as well.
Raby to the half wall. Eddy. Eddy down low to Novak, and he rocked one right off of Dell. It deflects to the corner, and the Fighting Sioux clears.
Aaron Dell standing tall in goal right now for the Fighting Sioux. He's made a couple of game-breaking saves, and he'll need to be big on this power play. Still 95 ticks for St. Cloud State to operate on.
Johnson with it at neutral ice. Sends it across to Raby, who wraps it in. Eddy back to Novak. Novak spins in the corner. To the point for Johnson. Across to Raby. Back to Johnson. Far wall, Eddy. David Eddy spins away from Ronnie. Walks to the circle. Trade spot with Novak. Down low, Eddy. Tried to jam one through Ben Blood to get it to the crease. And it was broken up and cleared. A minute left in the power play.
Bob Motzko imploring his team to get a line shift. They want that number 1 unit back on the ice. That means Ben Hanowski will be out there, and look out when he's on the ice in 5-on-4 scenarios.
Jensen gains control of the zone, jumps around McMillan, and was upended. North Dakota gains control, and here's McMillan one-on-one shorthanded against Prochnow. Dances around him, crashes into the net. The net is loose, and a face-off coming in the St. Cloud zone with 37 seconds left in the Husky power play.
Yeah, St. Cloud stayed a little slow to get back on this play, and dangerous because you can see right there Prochnow knew he had support, but that support was late. Jensen gets in there just in time to save a point-blank scoring chance in alone on his goaltender, but throughout that play, time is ticking away. St. Cloud State now with just 37 seconds left on the power play. One good look so far against Arundel.
Draw controlled by North Dakota. Blood fans on it, and Dowd carries to center. Dowd hits the line. Drops it to Fessler in the circle. Forbert around to the far side. Prochnow and Blood hustle after it. Blood gets there first and clears. Great hustle by Ben Blood.
And also that reach came in handy for Blood too. He got there, used his speed, and then he got that long fishing pole, the stick out there to poke it out, which now should pretty much salt away this St. Cloud State power play. Big edge for North Dakota right now. They've got the lead. They've got that momentum from this kill. We'll see how the next 3 or 4 shifts go. Critical time for the Huskies.
Good kill for North Dakota. Dell leaves it behind the net. Blood tied up along the boards. Thorson to the wall for Oliver. Tried to center. Intercepted by Matson. Matson feeds Parks up the right wing. Parks forced to the outside by Gravel. And Lee will cover up. Only one good scoring chance for the Huskies on the power play.
And they tried to jam it in on Dell, and that puck deflected off Dell's stick up and over the net. Then it was all about good defensive position and body work by North Dakota. Look at the way they smother the middle of the rink. They don't allow St. Cloud State anything in the slot, creating turnovers and clears. And from that point on, it was an easy kill for Aaron Dell. He made the big save early and then got to watch his 4 teammates in front do the rest to salt it away.
Face-off controlled by North Dakota, and a quick shot right on. Sinkville fires it into the midsection of Mike Lee, and we'll get a face-off again in the St. Cloud State zone.
I mentioned earlier in the broadcast to keep an eye on the final 10 minutes of this hockey game. It was going to be intense. It was going to be physical. How are these coaches going to play this out? 11 forwards for Dave Haxtell on the side of North Dakota. 4 lines for Bob Motzko, but a 4th line with 3 freshmen. Now is when legs become the premium factor to allow you to make the type of plays you need to make.
Face-off controlled by St. Cloud. Zabkowitz fights through a hook but lost the puck. Sinkville around to the far side wall. Thorson picks it up there and sends it cross ice. Panzarella back to play it for North Dakota. His pass out of the reach of Simpson. Sinkville at center. Hits the Husky line. Forced to the outside by Johnson. Now he'll play it down low. Tipped and out of play. And we get a whistle. WCHA Final Five action continues tomorrow afternoon. Denver won today. They advance to face the defending national champs from Minnesota Duluth. Game 1 of our semifinal action tomorrow. Coverage beginning at 2 on Fox Sports North.
You want offense, come watch that hockey game, folks. 2 o'clock, it's going to be a humdinger. Both those teams love to get up and down the ice. Both those teams are so good in transition, and if either gets a power play, it's going to be a pinball machine. That is going to be a very, very entertaining watch. Both these teams trying to punch their ticket for a chance at the #1 seed. Minnesota tomorrow night. Our broadcast for that one starts at 6:30. We got hockey for you all weekend long. We got another doubleheader on Saturday with the Wild and Hurricanes and a matinee on St. Patrick's Day, and then of course the championship game that night.
Denver and Duluth played early in the year in Denver. They tied on Friday night. Duluth won 4-0 on Saturday. That was during Denver's early season struggles. They're a much different hockey team right now. Here's Brock Nelson, left alone. Gravel got just enough on the poke check. Blood with a drive. Lee was moving to his right. The puck deflected to his left, but went wide of the net. Cristo walks off the half wall. Avoids a check. Cristo to Forbert. Fires, and it was blocked by Raby. Forbert on the next try sends it just wide. Simpson with a drive. Lee tried to glove it. It went over the top of the net. Forbert holds his own. Knight with it in the corner. Knight leaves it. McMillan centers. Daly intercepts. Can't get it out. Blood across to Forbert. Forbert a long shot looking for a tip. McMillan centers. Parks hammers away. And we get a whistle. Face-off coming in the St. Cloud zone. Good pressure by the Fighting Sioux. Already leading by 1. North Dakota 2, St. Cloud State 1 nearing the halfway point of the third period. The winner gets Minnesota tomorrow night at 7 in the second semifinal. Either way, it will be a renewal of an outstanding rivalry. Either way, it'll be a team that lost 3 out of 4 against the Gophers during the regular season.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be intense. I'll tell you, both these teams have a dislike of Minnesota, and it goes both ways. You can see a lot of fans from both St. Cloud State and North Dakota have traveled here for this one. They will stick around, take a shot at the #1 seed, no doubt about it tomorrow. That is going to be a very interesting matchup. I always kind of go back and forth, Anthony, on the fresh legs against coming down, getting a game under your belt in this building and playing that next night. I get the 3 games in 3 nights, what a disadvantage that can be, but on back-to-back situations for college kids, I'm not sure it's as big a factor. Look out here.
Turnover sends Ronnie in. Ronnie saved by Lee. He was forced to stay on the backhand with Prochnow chasing the play, and that may have allowed Lee enough time to make the save.
Yeah, good closing speed by Andrew Prochnow to force that backhand shot, and Lee read it well. From a goaltending perspective, you have to know what the options are, and if he knows that player can't go around to the forehand, he can come out just a little bit further. If you come out a little bit further, it makes that save a lot easier. The dangerous part of that save is you're backing in with the shooter. When that puck comes down near your feet, you've got to stop the momentum of that puck and then cover it. Lee did that. He was very strong on his edges.
Lamoureux in the corner, tried to center, intercepted by Thorson. Loose puck, wound up on the stick to Patton, and Lee forced to cover again.
You can see North Dakota's taking over this hockey game. Maybe it's the legs, maybe it's the momentum from taking the lead and then getting that big penalty kill. But St. Cloud State right now needs to re-energize and find something, because they should not be spending all their energy defending in their zone, knowing that we're under 10 minutes and they're down a goal. They've got to get back on the attack. They've got to do it quickly.
Draw controlled by North Dakota. Simpson on the near side. Throws it on goal, and Lee will hang on. Face-off again coming in the St. Cloud State zone.
Face-off's going the way of North Dakota right now at crunch time. They're winning every draw. They're getting puck possession. That's the name of the game when you're trying to protect the lead. If you can win those draws, so much more difficult for the team chasing you to get back on the attack. And we'll see if Lamoureux can keep this trend going.
Draw controlled this time by St. Cloud. Oliver stumbles as he tried to carry it out of his own zone. Johnson back to pick it up for St. Cloud State. Zabkowitz to Birch. Birch tipped it ahead at center ice. Lamoureux sends it down low. Patton. And now Gleason with it in the corner. Gleason walks to the slot on his backhand. He's tied up by Oliver, who's able to clear. Matson Lost it. Icing will be waved off. Good hustle on the play by Garrett Milan to negate the whistle. Nelson, good at the line. Tried to roll it ahead to Knight. Knight between the legs pass, looking back for Nelson in the slot. Gravel behind his net for Daly. Knight jumps around him. Knight takes a hit from Daly. Centering pass for Nelson, and he's tied up. He didn't get much on it. Good job back checking by Joe Raycamp. Here's one of those dangerous shifts we talked about earlier. The Huskies got caught with their fourth line against the top group for the Fighting Sioux.
That last change gives Dave Haxtell a huge advantage in that matchup regard. And right now, though, St. Cloud doesn't have their legs. They don't have any flow to their hockey game. Part of that has to go to the forecheck of North Dakota. The intensity which they're playing at right now, clearly a different intensity than we saw in the middle period for the Fighting Sioux. St. Cloud State just cannot get back on the attack. They can't get into the offensive end and get anything going. And precious time ticking away for the Huskies.
North Dakota trying to become the first team to win 3 playoff titles in a row. The league went to a single champion format in 1988. It was a Final Four for the first 5 years, then a Final Five. And since that switch, nobody's won 3 in a row. They're here in the Final Five for the 10th consecutive year. Jensen sends it wide. Centering pass. Novak was bumped and didn't get much on it. Park starts back for North Dakota. Plays it around Jensen and works to the outside. They go hard into the end wall. Novak back to pick it up for the Huskies. Ronnie back down low for North Dakota. Hanowski. And now Raby dumps it in for St. Cloud. Forbert to Blood. Huskies were in the midst of a change. That gave North Dakota time to get out. Gleason to Lamoureux at the Husky line. Spins away from Fessler's check. Tried to center. Johnson scoops it up for St. Cloud. Cross-ice pass knocked down, and it'll be a hand pass as it's touched by Connor Gorder. North Dakota trying to hang on. They lead by 1. Here's our game summary. Corbin Knight scored first for North Dakota off the deflection of the defenseman. Zabkowitz escapes. St. Cloud on the power play. Got one from Ben Hanowski. Tied it at 1. It was 1-1 after 1 in the second period. Brock Nelson beat Mike Lee high to the stick side. And that's where we stand with 7:11 left in the third. North Dakota with a 1-goal lead. We went overtime this afternoon. Denver scored in the final 4.5 minutes to tie it, and then won it in the extra session against Michigan Tech. Can St. Cloud even this game and force an extra session? We'll see. Daly with it. Fessler ahead to Dowd. Works his way to the slot. Drops to Gravel. A one-timer was deflected. Fessler in the corner. Fessler centers. It was tipped. Eddie didn't get much on it, and it wound up wide. Cristo hustles after a loose puck. Poke checked away by Gravel. Cristo centers. Fires. Knight on the rebound. Saved by Lee. Rebound loose. Lee made a stop, and I think Dowd may have stopped one as well.
All hands on deck there. A couple of big saves by Lee, and then some help from his friends to keep this 2-1. North Dakota, though, relentless with the lead here late in the third.
And not surprising, it's the Cristo Nelson Knight line.
Watch 7, and then watch Dowd. Oh yeah, right there. Holy smokes! I mean, that was dangerous for St. Cloud State. Yep, he caught that one right up twice.
He made 2 saves.
Wow. Helping his goaltender out right there. North Dakota now is taking the lead in the shot clock. Been trailing in that regard all game long, but they have had the legs here at crunch time in the third. They are the aggressor with the lead. St. Cloud State right now needs to find something, some magic somewhere along the way, or get a power play to get this game tied up.
They've had the last 9 shots on goal. Now, Do you count those 2 shots on goal or shots blocked by the defense?
That's a great question, but because he's in the blue paint, you got to give him credit for shots on goal because they're going in the net when he makes that play.
So then does he get credit for the saves?
That's a tough one. Over my head.
Prochnow starts up through center for St. Cloud. Works to the outside. Fights through Panzarella's check. Lamoureux trying to pin it to the wall. Simpson digs it free for North Dakota. Parks chips it off the boards and out to center. Jensen will go back after it for St. Cloud State. Andrew Prochnow to Birch at center. Prochnow recovers a loose puck, gives it to Jensen. Birch fell at the North Dakota line, and that brought the play in offside. 5:06 left.
Let's take a look at the game plan. Top line production, they've gotten that. Ben Hanowski had a power play, put St. Cloud on the board. Not a lot of power plays for North Dakota, but frankly, they haven't needed them. It's only a 2-1 game for both teams, limiting shots in the slot. For stretches, they've been very good at that. In other stretches, like this period, St. Cloud State has not done a good job defending the slot. North Dakota's won those battles and really put some pressure on not only Mike Lee, but as we saw in the last shift, some of his defensive partners out in front making saves for him. Down to 5:05. Just like our game earlier today, it's going to come down to the closing moments. They always do in these tournaments. Always one-goal games, it seems.
Loose puck, a backhand shot by Hanowski. Raby to the point. Long shot by Zabkowicz goes wide. Johnson pinches in. A one-timer by Novak as he was being knocked to the ice, and a save made by Dell.
Great job by Taylor Johnson to pinch at the blue line for St. Cloud State to elongate that forecheck and get a great look on Dell.
Icing waved off. Christo was the first man to the dot, so Lee had to play the puck. Knight at center dumps it in. Zabkowicz will go back after it for St. Cloud. St. Cloud defensemen likely to take more chances from here out. They're an aggressive bunch to begin with. Daly in his own end to Gravel. His pass out of the reach of Fessler. McWilliam back to pick it up for North Dakota. Eddy battles with Gorder. Gorder wins the war. Can't get it out, however. Dowd to Fessler. Top of the circle. A shot. Save, rebound. Eddy stopped on the backhander.
He got 2 shots in on Dell. Big saves that time.
Daly got a tip from Dowd, but it went just wide. Dowd throws it out front. Dell's down. The puck is loose. Dowd to the point for Daly. Daly at the top of the circle, feeds Gravel, back to Daly, winds and fires wide. Dowd keeps it alive. Gravel a shot, blocked by McWilliam. Matson, and finally the Fighting Sioux clears. They try to get a change. Huskies quickly back on side. Gravel dumps it in, and St. Cloud will change.
Nice push by the Huskies that time. Excellent forecheck, putting some pressure on North Dakota.
Prochnow with it with 3 minutes to go. On the left for Birch, a drive right on, saved by Dell. And we'll get a face-off in the North Dakota zone. The Huskies applying the pressure, but trailing by 1 with 3:03 to play.
I think everybody's aware that if we don't win, we're done. It's the situation we put ourselves in with the way we've played this year and some of the outcomes that have been results of our games. And we know that, like you said, we definitely have to win 3 games this weekend to keep our season alive.
St. Cloud State goaltender Mike Lee, who won a state championship in this building as a high school player while playing at Rosso in 2007. Interestingly, his coach was the father of current teammate Nick Oliver. Scott Oliver was the head man for Rosso that year. Brock Nelson up the right wing, winds and fires and deflects into the netting. And right now, as Mike Lee stated, the Huskies 2 minutes and 49 seconds away from the end of their season. If they lose tonight, they're done. They need a goal to tie, and at the very least, force an extra session.
Well, they've got the right guys on the ice. I keep pointing back to Andrew Prochnow and Nick Jensen. These 2 defensemen make so many little things happen for this hockey team. And They're going to find a way to get the puck out of the zone, though. They're relying too much on Mike Lee here in the third period to keep them in this game. And a lot of energy has been expended defending North Dakota, where you need that energy right now to attack. And these two defensemen will be pinching, and when they get the puck, they make such good decisions to set up the forwards. And got to get in the attack side of the rink, dump that puck in, and start to put some pressure on North Dakota. When you're leading by one late, you have to defend. You get back on your heels. We saw it with that prior shift, where one shot Anthony seemed to lead to 3 or 4 chances because you panic a little bit when you're leading and trying to hang on late.
Dowd will draw against Ronnie. Dowd comes away with the puck. On the left wing, Fessler. 2-on-2 at the line with Eddie. Eddie works around McWilliam, drops to Dowd, but his shot was blocked. Jensen to Prochnow. Prochnow throws it toward the net, and Dell covers just before Dowd could get there.
Little play right there at the top where Jensen and Prochnow go give and go, and then it's a smart shot to the slot with bodies impairing the vision of Dell. It starts up top, and look at all the traffic that Dell has to work himself through to find that bouncing puck. And boy, he was fortunate to get a hold of that right before the puck was deflected in the net. You saw a couple of black sweaters looming.
North Dakota with an edge in the face-off circle, and they have their best face-off man right now, Corbin Knight, taking this draw. 58% on the year, and he wins this draw. Relayed out of the zone by Nelson. Birch back to pick it up for the Huskies. Daly hits the red line and dumps it in. Novak hustles after it. Blood tries to tie him up in the corner. Birch trying to dig it free. Taylor Johnson in deep from the point to keep it alive. Shot by Daly was blocked. Cristo could not clear. Johnson broke it up. And now Blood does manage to get the puck out. And it's out of play. 1:49 left.
Watching Bob Motzko right now to see if he'll take his timeout. He is looking down at Dave Haxtell to see if Haxtell will take his timeout. It's a poker game right now because you don't want to have to take the timeout. You want to save it. But now he saw that Haxtell wasn't going to do it, so he was forced. This will be it for St. Cloud State with 1:49 to go. They'll try to see if they can figure out a way to maintain possession and get Mike Lee out of the net for the extra attacker.
And part of the discussion too was where would this faceoff take place because of the fact that the puck was tipped on its way out of the zone, but they ruled it was tipped by a North Dakota player, and therefore the faceoff will come back in the North Dakota zone with 1:49 left.
It's a huge break for St. Cloud State, and I'll be very surprised right now if they don't put out their top power play, basically. All the right players that we've seen out there. Guys like Hanowski, Prochnow, and Jensen. It's a bit of a roll of the proverbial dice because I'm not certain that you want these guys out there for nearly 2 minutes, but they don't have a lot of choices right now. I'll be also curious to see where they position Mike Lee. Will he be all the way back in the net? Will he be halfway out, or will he stay on the bench? I think he'll probably be in that blue paint. I don't think it's quite time yet, just down one to pull him, but every coach has a different philosophy around that. What drama. Wow, this is fun.
Winner gets Minnesota in the semifinals tomorrow night, and Lee is already on the bench for St. Cloud.
Wow, I like it. Not surprising at all. Top line out there for North Dakota. They've been awesome in the third period. Brock Nelson, Corbin Knight, Danny Cristo, veterans, great hockey players that play on an edge. You talked about it earlier. Their best face-off guy is this man, Corbin Knight. Big draw.
Knight wins the draw cleanly. Dowd, however, comes up with the puck, centers, Jensen fires, and it's tipped wide to the corner. Hanowski stumbled, played it behind the net. Nobody there for the Huskies. Blood gains control and clears for North Dakota. Jensen knocks it down at center. Prochnow wraps it back in. Brings around to the near side wall. Jensen sends it wide. Novak and Prochnow converge on the far boards. Cristo comes away with the puck for North Dakota. Cristo saucers it out to center. This will be icing if it reaches the goal line. It does. Face off back in the North Dakota zone, and the Sioux cannot change with 1:12 left.
Got to take a timeout if you're Haxtell here. You got to do it. These guys.
But if you do, then you let St. Cloud rest their big guns and keep them on the ice.
You know, you got to take it. And they're trying to stall right now. You can see right now they're playing the stall game. They're going to try to roll the dice and not take that timeout. Look at this is veteran right here. Veteran, talk to the official. Now we're just waiting for the goalie to fix his strap. All the tricks.
Face-off coming in the North Dakota zone. Again, Knight controls the draw, but now Dowd takes it away. Cristo with an empty net. Nelson with him. Nelson seals it.
It's going to be North Dakota and Minnesota on a Friday night in downtown St. Paul because the Fighting Sioux were able to stave off this late rally by St. Cloud State. They were the stronger team in the third period. They won more face-offs. They won more board battles. And this sequence really tells the story. North Dakota wanted this one just a little bit more than the Huskies. They win a battle right along the wall, right here. It's 2-on-2. Who wants the carrot, boys? Guys in white get it. Unselfish play. Brock Nelson with the cherry on top of the sundae. The Sioux and the Gophers will lock horns tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Fans on their feet, many of them wearing the green. St. Cloud State will keep Lee out of the net, and now it's desperate, trying to get 2 goals inside of a minute.
Dell gets run by Taylor Johnson, and
here we go. And Dell's down. Not a smart play. Frustrating play by Taylor Johnson. Not a smart play. And calm and cool here will prevail, but this has to be a penalty on St. Cloud State. It was a direct play to knock the goaltender back into his net. And they're going to take him and put him in the sin bin, and he earned this penalty. And any chance of a Husky comeback now completely gone with that play. You can clearly see this puck is covered, the whistle is blowing, and then there's this. That's garbage. Can't do that.
Derek Forbert responded. We'll see if they also send Forbert.
I'll be shocked if the extra penalty doesn't land on the side of St. Cloud State. I'm sure Bob Motzko, who's a first-class guy, is disappointed with that play, and obviously disappointed with the result tonight. His team was really good early. They came out and with a better hockey team throughout most of that first period. Second period, both teams seemed to struggle. Third period's been all North Dakota. This is when you win a hockey game, and the Fighting Sioux have been the better team from the drop of the puck here in the final stanza. Well,
and they have called a major penalty for goalie interference. I'm not sure I've ever seen a major for goalie interference.
I haven't, and I'm sure that's just to send a message all weekend long that that is not acceptable play.
And Taylor Johnson, with just 50 seconds left, takes a major. North Dakota will go on the power play. And Motzko will have to have someone serve the penalty, not that this matters in the final minute.
To number 4, Taylor Johnson, a 5-minute major for goalie interference. And
Game misconduct along with it. So North Dakota will advance. Lee again heads to the bench. The Huskies, even with a man short, will pull the goaltender. Hanowski with it at center. Half a minute to go. Jensen at center takes a jab at Corbin Knight, and the Fighting Sioux score again into the empty net. Danny Cristo will get credit for this one, and it's now 4-1 North Dakota.
First line has all 4 goals for North Dakota, 2 of them empty net variety. A couple of cherries on top of the sundae here with 26.3 to go. I applaud Bob Motzko, though, for not allowing his team to say this game is over. To pull the goalie there is a message sent to your team that you play to the buzzer. Even though we're down 2 and short a man, we're not going to pack it in. This was all about North Dakota owning the third period. They're going to get all 3 goals in this final 20. They are going to earn a date with their biggest rival. In my opinion, the best rivalry in all of college hockey. North Dakota, Minnesota tomorrow night. Tomorrow afternoon, of course, we'll have the game for you in the afternoon with Denver and UMD. Awesome stuff.
Cristo, an unassisted empty net goal to seal it. Sinkbeal intercepts, and that will bring us to the final horn. North Dakota continues their march toward a three-peat as they move into the semifinals, and they continue their chance to win their third straight playoff championship. Our Kellogg's player of the game is Brock Nelson. Kellogg's bringing our best to you. Nelson with 2 goals tonight. Came into the game 9th in the country with 23 goals. Now stands with 25, and he's been at his best at the end of the season for North Dakota. 17 points in his last 14 games. We'll wrap it up from the XL Energy Center. Look ahead at tomorrow when we continue. 4-1 North Dakota.